We got a reminder tonight that preseason football at times is just brutal.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Derry with you on a Thursday evening edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And a Thursday night, August 8th, and a Friday, August 9th, we decided to do a post-game reaction show, and that's exactly what we're doing right here on Locked On Lions. Again, Matt Derry with you. Follow us on Twitter at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions, Matt Derry Facebook fan page. And thank you for those of you that subscribe and watch each and every day on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Lions fall to the Giants tonight in the preseason in New Jersey. Not that the score matters, 14-3. Got a lot to get into. Want to remind you, a shout out to our everydayers who are out there that either watch or listen daily. We appreciate you. My man, Chris Cavanaugh, Chris Cav. He was driving up north today with his daughter, Lauren, my good friend. He's a big Locked On Lions listener. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate your listenership and viewership. My guy, Mike Fleischer, at lunch today at Fogo de Chão in Troy with Mike. He loves the Lions. He's an everydayer. Turner Batdorf, one of our hardcore everydayers, was in New Jersey tonight at the game. That dude was everywhere at the team hotel. He was at the game tonight. And a shout out as well to a new listener of ours that we just discovered. My good friend, Michelle Choice, her husband, Josh, their daughter, Lena. Lena, if you are up, go to bed. That's from Uncle Matt. But thanks to our everydayers out there who check us out daily on the show. All right. Locked On Lions tonight. A little out of it. It's Thursday night. Brought to you by LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, so where do we start? First of all, it was good to have football back. It was good to see the Lions in their new uniforms. It was fun to watch the broadcast tonight with Jason Ross Jr. and Golden Tate and Danny Rogers and all of that. So it was great to have football back. I would say about 2 or 3 series into the first quarter, I realized, oh my God, do I really have to sit through this entire preseason game? You know I did. But still, it was like you get excited. This is the same every year. You get excited because football's back, but then you realize it's not real. The real game is September 8th. The real games start September 8th. But tonight, just because of all the anticipation, all the excitement, summer sports, we had the Olympic basketball game today. I get it. I know that the Tigers are playing and all that, but bottom line is we love football and we love the Lions, and the Lions are king in this town. So to be back on the field, regardless of if it was Jared Goff and Jahmyr Gibbs or whether it was Nate Sudfeld and Jake Funk, football is still football, albeit preseason football can be a little bit brutal. And so tonight, the Giants won 14-3. And first and foremost, what we have to talk about is the news of the night, and that is that Hendon Hooker has a concussion. This should come as no surprise because he doesn't slide. All right, he had issues with that at Tennessee. He likes to lower his shoulder. He's got Anthony Richardson disease. Anthony Richardson is going to be a star for the Indianapolis Colts, but if he doesn't slide, he's going to be out again this season injured, just like he was last season when he banged up his shoulder, separated his shoulder. Hendon Hooker tonight brought a little juice, a little energy in the second half. He's clearly better than Nate Sudfeld. Nate Sudfeld is brutal. Let's just call it what it is. He's not good. He wasn't good last year. He has never been good. All right. And yes, he's played better in practice than Hooker because of the experience factor and everything else. But I think we saw tonight once the second half started, and I get it. You're playing against 4th and 5th stringers. It's the preseason. Some starters for the Giants played early against Sudfeld. It was also pouring rain at the beginning of the game when Sudfeld was out there. It wasn't raining as heavy when Hooker was out there. But you know, even Stevie Wonder could see tonight that Hendon Hooker is superior to Nate Sudfeld. The problem is Hendon Hooker had like a 30-yard run, and it was awesome, lowered his shoulder, and got concussed in the process on the hit with the Giants defender. Stayed in the game, but then they took him out, and Dan Campbell confirming after the game, yes, he does have a concussion. So does Antoine Green, by the way, the wide receiver. So hopefully those guys get back soon. The Lions, my guess, are going to have to sign another quarterback to play next week, because I'm not putting Hendon Hooker out there next week, are we? Are we going to give him a little bit of time here? But regardless, I liked what I saw from Hooker. Was he great? No. Does he kind of look and stare down his first option that he's throwing to? Yes. Was everything dink and dunk? It was. I think he averaged like 4 yards a throw. Everything was short tonight with both quarterbacks. But it's clear he can move, he can run. There's some excitement there. He's got the legs, and he's got a nice feel. Is he ready to be a backup to Jared Goff this season? I don't know. But I know this, he's better than Nate Sudfeld. Nate Sudfeld threw an interception tonight on that rollout that was like, where's that going? Just awful. And I've said it on this show for a couple of weeks, and I'll say it again. Ryan Tannehill is 36 years old and on the golf course right now. That might be the option at backup quarterback if what we saw tonight continues, because the Lions offense was not very good. Again, it's preseason. I'm not going to go nuts here. We're having fun. You guys wanted a little post-game reaction show. That's what we're doing. There were some positives that I did take from the game. I liked what I saw from Hooker and his ability to run, but he's got to slide. He had a couple of runs tonight where he took hits. You've got to get down. You've got to slide. And he's a rookie, and he's playing his first NFL game, albeit exhibition game. But that has got to be something that he works on. That is for sure. So that was certainly interesting, to say the least, with what Hooker brought to the table tonight. Now, again, Ben Johnson, who's a brilliant offensive mind and is a great offensive coordinator, is not going to show a whole lot of gadget plays, trickster stuff, different looks. It was a pretty vanilla offense run tonight. Maybe that's why Sudfeld struggled. Maybe that's why, with Sudfeld and Hooker out there, Lions scored a measly 3 points. Jake Bates, 53-yard field goal. How about my boy? Come on, Jake. That's what we're talking about. I loved it. 53 yards. Dan Campbell, he just couldn't help himself tonight. He was right back to 2023, Dan Campbell, going for it on every fourth down. Can we see a little bit more of Bates? Just one field goal? He needs to be kicking more. Dan, the game doesn't matter. Let's see your kicker a little bit. Dude drilled a 53-yarder in the rain with plenty to spare in that wind tunnel in East Rutherford. That is not an easy place to kick. Not easy. So that was a positive tonight, that Jake Bates, the pride of the Michigan Panthers, UFL graduate, who we've been talking about, has struggled during training camp, drilled a 53-yarder tonight. So that was good. But again, you got to score more than 3 points. One other positive off the top of my head, and I got notes, but Isaiah Williams looked good. The undrafted rookie free agent out of Illinois. Dan Campbell pointed that out after the game as well. They even named him the player of the game on the broadcast. It's like 4 catches, 35 yards. Whee, player of the game. That should tell you how poor the offense did tonight. I thought the offensive line was not good, just like last year. Second stringers, and man, Connor Galvin got rolled up on his knee, has been really stepping up lately as a backup tackle, and he could be lost for a while. That could be a long-term injury. God, that sucks for him. Really does. But I thought Isaiah Williams looked good. That battle for the 4th and 5th wide receivers, boy, is wide open. Wide open. More pluses, more minuses. We're going to get into all of that coming up next, right here on Locked On Lions, a special post-game reaction podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, you know this every day. And we mentioned before, the Locked On Lions is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find a quality professional that kind of fits your role, right? That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. Look, putting your job out on LinkedIn is easy, hassle-free. People see it. You got that the purple hiring ring around your avatar. It is awesome and easy. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. We know that. I'm on LinkedIn every day. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a pro on LinkedIn. 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring. You should do it as well. Do me a favor. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Matt Derry back with you. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. It is Locked On Lions, a Thursday evening edition. We will be back on the air tomorrow as well for a Friday show after the Lions 14-3 loss to the New York Football Giants tonight in the rain in New Jersey. It looked like there were 10 people in the stands. Seriously. Did not look like there was a big crowd on hand for tonight's preseason battle. Lions will be back at it next Saturday, the 17th, in Kansas City, a 4:00 afternoon game. Can we just get to the regular season? Seriously. Shout out to everybody on YouTube, by the way, that is on our YouTube page. You gotta go easier on our friend Patricia Traina, who hosts Locked On Giants. My gosh. You guys, come on, people. What do you expect her to say? She's a Giants fan. Everyone's like, oh my God, Patricia. I'm a Patricia fan. So not Matt Patricia Traina. All right. I mentioned before some positives. Let's talk about, first of all, let's get back to the offensive line for a second. None of the starters played tonight. So we're talking no Decker, no Zeitler, no Glasgow, no Ragnow, and no Sewell. Not a surprise. Dan Skipper played a little bit and then was taken out, and it was mostly young guys. And the Lions had a hard time all night running the football. Bam Knight got the start. The one guy that ran the football well tonight was, I've been saying it. I said August was going to be Vaki town. Sione Vaki looked great. Guy's got a little bit of burst, can cut. He's a safety that's playing running back, but of all the backs we saw tonight, and that includes our guy Craig Reynolds. Come on, Craig. Vaki was clearly the best guy. So I liked what I saw from him, but what I didn't like was too much pressure on the quarterback and not enough push from the offensive line. And this was the same issue we saw last year when guys like Awoshika and Sorsdal and others in the preseason got a lot of run, Nice, and it didn't work out. So, Jeff Risdon has pointed this out at Lions Wire a couple times. Depth along the offensive line is a concern. It is. And that was showcased tonight again. I'll say this, though. Those young defensive linemen tonight were awesome. I was watching and rewinding during the game. I thought Mekhi Wingo, the 6th-round pick, was freaking great. Every time I watched Wingo, and I don't know what PFF's going to grade him out. Tomorrow we'll have that, but I thought Wingo looked really good. I liked what I saw from him. Some of the pressure that the Lions had got on both Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito. I like what I saw. Broderick Martin flashed a couple of times tonight, which was cool. But Wingo is a guy that really, I thought, stood out. And I thought that the depth along the D line, I like seeing James Houston out there. Josh Pascal started tonight, played a little bit. But I thought the D line did a pretty good job. Yeah, they got gashed on the Eric Gray touchdown. Yes, Maurice Norris got completely juked out of his cleats. But I thought all in all, the depth along the D line was an improvement. Here's the other thing. We saw tonight Ennis Rakestraw, Terrion Arnold a little bit, and Amik Robertson. And there is a major upgrade in the secondary, is there not? Rakestraw, first series, play on the ball, a pass breakup, a PBU. Robertson making plays, trash talking the Giants bench. And those guys were out there a pretty long time, and they did a very good job. Now, we know this. The Giants, again, weren't playing Daniel Jones, didn't have their regular receivers out there. But I thought Rakestraw held his own for a rookie. And Robertson certainly was good. Brandon Joseph had an interception tonight, just a very poor throw from Drew Lock, but it was a nice play on the ball. And in the rain, you got to hold on to those things. Pretty decent return. And I thought Stephen Gilmore looked good tonight when he was out there. So you're seeing you saw the improvement. I mean, the defense gave up 14 points. So you're seeing the improvement from this group already. And you know that the secondary is going to be a much improved part of the team, and compared to last year where, Kindle Vildor and Cam Sutton were your starting outside cornerbacks in the playoff game. You saw tonight, I really liked what I saw from the secondary. And Dayron Gilbert, the pride of a Brother Rice, linebacker number 53, had a good game too. I thought he flashed, made some tackles, made some plays. Golden Tate brought this up on the broadcast a couple of times tonight on Fox 2. And again, it was Golden's first broadcast. I was getting some texts from people like, Golden's too monotone. It's his first broadcast. Come on. He's going to get better. But he kept talking about gang tackling, swarming to the football. I thought that's what the Lions did. I thought Dayron Gilbert played pretty well. Maurice Norris definitely struggled tonight on the defensive side. And on the offensive line, Giovanni Manu was horrible tonight. The rookie draft pick. Got toasted on a play at left tackle. Edge rusher went right around him and hit Sudfeld, and they got called for a false start. Not a good start for a guy, again, that just needs more experience and reps coming over from playing in Canada. But Giovanni Manu is definitely a project. I think we saw that in a big way tonight. I don't think there's any question about it. All right. Other things that took place in the game tonight, including the new kickoff rule. I don't think it's it. I need to give it more of a chance. I know it was just one preseason game, but watching that tonight, it just, maybe I'm off base, but I want to get into that a little bit more coming up next. Matt Derry with you, a little post-game reaction after preseason game number 1. Giants 14, Lions 3. Concussions for Antoine Green and Hendon Hooker. And like I said before, 4th and 5th wide receiver spots. How about Donovan Peoples-Jones not even playing until the second half and didn't touch the ball till the fourth quarter? His roster spot's in trouble. If that's what the Lions think of DPJ, a guy that was a starter a few years ago in Cleveland and now has been banished to second half only in the first preseason game, woo. Now, he did make a nice catch on a ball thrown behind him by Nate Sudfeld, but that's a guy whose roster spot is in danger. And after one preseason game to say, oh yeah, this guy has the upper hand on the number 4 receiver spot, or even the number 5 with Green and others. I thought Isaiah Williams was the best of the lot tonight. Green wasn't bad before he got hurt. But I thought Isaiah Williams was the best of the group. But again, Doris Fountain was out there. It's tough to gauge because of the rain and because Sudfeld couldn't find anybody. All right, more on this kickoff rule and a few more observations from tonight coming up next. And Locked On Lions brought to you by our friends at the Gametime app. Looking for tickets for preseason NFL football, Lions and Steelers in a few weeks. What about Major League Baseball? You want to come see the Tigers when they get back home? Well, Gametime is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. They got killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Listen, you want flash deals, zone deals, views from your seat, which we talk about all of the time. I just love it. You get a panoramic view on your phone, on the app, turn left, turn right. You know exactly where you're sitting. That is what I love about the Gametime app. You get that price all up front, so you're not going to be throwing fees at the last minute. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Little post-game reaction podcast tonight after the Lions fall to the New York Football Giants in the preseason. Only 2 more preseason games left. And again, if you're just tuning in, Jared Goff, none of the regulars really played. Jalen Reeves-Maybin was out there a little bit. That was good to see. Not even no Onwuzurike, even none of the starting offensive linemen, none of the starting receivers or running backs. Sam Laporte has been out. He was not out there tonight. We saw the flying Zylstra brothers, Shane Zylstra out there, James Mitchell, among others. Brock Wright didn't even play. Kirby Joseph was not in the game. Terrion Arnold was. Ife Melifonwu started, I think, played 1 series. But most of the regulars are not going to be playing in the preseason. Jared Goff was in street clothes and was interviewed on the sidelines during the game. You're not going to see Jared Goff in the preseason. But again, like we talked about before, more questions continue about backup quarterback and now the health of a guy like Hendon Hooker, who suffered a concussion. I said it before the break, the new kickoff rule. I didn't catch a lot of the Hall of Fame game last week, so this is really the first time for me to see the brand new kickoff rule where if the Lions are kicking off, their guys are down on the 40-yard line of the Giants. The Giants players are on the 30, and it's up to Jake Bates to kick it in the boundary over the head of the guys on the 30 in that boundary area between the 30 and the 10-yard line. And if he doesn't do it, it's a penalty. I get the concept. They want more returns and they want it to be safe. But, penalties for the boundary and I don't know, it just looked hokey. It looked hokey. I felt like I was watching the XFL or the UFL. No, I want to be watching the NFL. And I know they want to bring the kick return back, but they want to make it safe. So then you got to wait until the return man touches the football before then you can start running to cover the kick. I don't know, man. I could be in the minority. Who knows? By week 4 or 5, maybe I'll love it. But after watching tonight, I felt like I was watching some minor league football. I felt like it was an arena game with that kickoff rule. So I'm going to give it another chance. The Lions tonight had Maurice Alexander, number 1, was back there on a couple of kick returns. Isaiah Williams was back there. I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do during the regular season. And if a guy like J-Mo is going to be back there, I think Sione Vaki will get a look as well. But I found that whole rigmarole to be kind of lame. I might change my mind. I'm just telling you what my reaction is from tonight. By the way, Jack Fox booming 50, 60 yarders in the preseason. He's the punt god. He's the best. The best. Speaking of the best, how about 222 being interviewed during the broadcast? Rod Wood getting on the mic and openly admitting that he and Calvin Johnson got off to a rocky start. Yeah, you think, Rod? You told him you were taking his money back. You think? Oh, man, my Twitter, Derry Speaks on Twitter was blowing up. Steve Facine and others hitting me up on Twitter. About 222 getting some camera time, hugging Golden Tate. It's like an old home week with Rod. But hey, well, it's the Lions TV broadcast. What do you expect? It's the preseason. They're hawking sweets. They were doing all they did. I love when they show the Golden Tate somersault into the end zone in Minnesota on the game winner a few years ago. I love that. I thought that was cool. So all in all tonight, I mean, preseason, like I said, few highs, few lows. Call Ryan Tannehill, please. Although Hendon Hooker looked good, so maybe he's going to be the backup. Maybe it's just a concussion that he'll be back soon. We'll have to wait and see. But we are back again tomorrow with another episode of Locked On Lions. Thanks for staying up late with us, everybody, or checking us out in the morning, wherever you get your podcasts. Love the support we've gotten. Tell your friends about us. Find us wherever you get your podcasts. And also, of course, please subscribe and watch us for free on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. We are back again tomorrow.